What we're doing is we're looking at the whole state of education where it is now, and then we're going to make a report and say, this is what's going on. Here's how people feel about it, here's what we observed, here's the results of our study. And so when the final report comes out, it's also going to come out with an action plan. We're going to make recommendations.
What are your thoughts on elder participation in the school? How else can I put that? I mean, there's an elders council.
I think it's a situation that's necessary and essential in order to maintain really that connection between the young people and the old people. It's necessary to, like say the education system, I look at it as the medium for the transmission of knowledge. The sources of knowledge for Indigenous people, I'm talking even broader here, but let's just say for Anishinaabe people, for the sake of we're talking about Winneway.
Yeah.
The sources of knowledge, I understand, are different than from Western civilization. Okay? I mean, if you look at Western civilization, for example, everything is going to be surrounding or revolving around this whole notion of scientific methodology.
Yeah. Okay. Elders. When we started 30 years ago, it was always, we really wanted to have it elder-based. I mean, Indian control of Indian education. The community decided who teaches, what they teach, how they teach, where they teach, all that. And we always thought the elders were very, but is there any kind of organized or even ad hoc way, are the elders involved at all in the school that you know of?
I can't say for sure. I don't know how actively they are. I know from hearing from Gordon, our education director, that we have used them in the past.
Yes.
And some of our funding programs we get through First Nations Education Council, where those funds come from Indian Affairs, but they flow through there rather than right to from us putting in for them. Like your new PAS budgets and all that proposals.
Yeah.
Is that we do have some of that done where we utilize the elders. We had the whole community involved, and some of them would have been elders when we had the cultural camp the first week in October. So yes, we do. To what extent, I'm not sure.
Some of the students back here are a year or two behind. I don't really feel bad about it, but one thing that they have the bicultural education, and if you bring in non-native students from out there into our system, they would probably fall behind and they wouldn't know the culture either. So it's so I think it actually.
You sound very optimistic.
Over the years, I am. Because I believe in a better future. And I think the movement that's happening these days relates to that,
I think you're absolutely right.
And it won't be easy to go through the changes, but I think if we're truly a Canadian society here, with a multicultural society, I think First Nations has been part of the creation of Canada. So I think that the Canadian society as a whole have to accept the way we like to see Canada being organized and
talking about now keeping track
and like one thing I noticed too, like let's say there's a child that's missing for 3 days. Well, after the second day you start to want to call the school, okay, get someone out to find out what's happening. So the parent sends their kid to school like for a week, and then the same thing happens again. The following week they're missing like the whole week this time when you're thinking. And like one thing I noticed too, like let's say there's a child that's missing for 3 days. Well, after the second day you start to want to call the school, okay, get someone out to find out what's happening. So the parent sends their kid to school like for a week, and then the same thing happens again. The following week they're missing like the whole week this time when you're thinking like what's going on? Like, you know, I don't know, I don't think I would be able to keep my child just at home without sending them to school. Like, I don't know, it's just, but then again, like, you don't,
Parents need to
there's
understand
nothing.
that they play a role in this here,
Yeah.
and it's a major role.
Yeah, that's one of the comments that I made in some of my report cards this term, that I've noticed that when the child attends school regularly,
Yeah.
they get
Oh, yes.
into the routine. They become part of it, but when they're on and off, like, they don't know what they're doing in school. They're here a few days, here and there. We can't expect a whole lot from them of understanding, about, and also how to get the work done, If they don't come to school, like there were a few weeks there, and then those kids are in class and they get tired and it's too much of an effort and they've lost that,
Yeah.
being used to it regularly.
Well, I could see from both sides, speaking as a parent and speaking as a teacher, like I could see how it works, or how it should work, Like I send my kids to school on Fridays, and to me, they tell me, Mom, it's like pointless. We go to school, sometimes it's just me sitting there, and sometimes it's me and somebody else sitting there, because
The rest of the group is
all the rest of the class
absent.
is gone. And I don't know why you send me to school, Mom. Well,
I met a Soto Indian chief. We sat and talked about our beliefs. Said the city dragged my people down. I'd rather be walking on sacred ground. Sacred ground. You told me the places where the eagle flies. You told me the reason the forest cries. You told me the reason that men were bound. Set foot on your sacred ground.